Okay, so in the last video we sold a piece of equipment, and now in this video we'll look at how to create a field service repair for a piece of equipment. So let's open up, let's get into it rather than me talk about it. So we'll open up this bulldozer which we sold in the last video, and what we'll want to do is create a field repair. So all of the field repairs that we do will be available in the Smart button, but we want to create a new one, not look at an existing one. So we're going to create a field repair here. So if we click on this button, we'll notice that it does actually open up the field service application, which is the standard Odoo field service application we all know and love. But it's this particular thing, we've added some features in here to be able to manage correctly a field service job. So as many of you will be aware, if you go out to a site, let's say a mining site or something similar, you'll often be required to fill in a JSA. So a job safety or job safety assessment is what they typically are called. So within our module we've got the ability to have our JSAs, and at the moment this is a fairly blank JSA. We've got a supervisor where we can indicate who's going to be the supervisor on the job, a list of questions that we add before we start the work and then after we complete the work, to make sure the site's both safe for us to do the work, and then when we walk away from the job that it's safe when we walk away. So under the client equipment module we do actually have the ability to be able to create our own questions here. So what we can do is we can load those questions in, and you'll notice here that we've got those questions now loaded into our JSA. So the site supervisor would typically go through at the start of the job, do the pre-work inspection, making sure that everything is safe, and then they would also be responsible for doing the post-work inspection as well. They can actually fill in a signature and so forth for that job completion. As I say, in many particularly mine sites or petrochemical or a number of other sites, it is a requirement to have a JSA completed, and there might be even multiple JSAs depending on the type of work you're doing, but we're not going to get into that today. So up here as well we've got a couple of additional fields. So the site contact, this is an additional field we've added to the contacts so that we know who to contact on site. So again, we're not going to the company's head office, we're not going to or we may go to a site where you have lots of people that look after the various pieces of equipment. So in this case it's Amelia that is looking after this particular bulldozer, but it could equally be someone else. So this, unlike the contacts where it's fairly generic and we're really dealing with head office or even the office within a site, this is actually, I want to know the individual person that is looking after this particular piece of equipment. And so we preload that into the contacts already, and that gets pulled in here. Again, in a later video we'll show you how to do that as well. Now the job itself, if I click on the job, I can see that the bulldozer has been added as equipment, and let's say we'll also, before we start the job, we need to actually plan the job out. So this might be a job that we plan out for, let's say the 14th at 8 AM, and then we're going to finish that on the same day at, let's say, 12. Not sure exactly what we're doing, we might be doing some small job. So I'm going to put down 4 hours for that as allocated time. So again, this is all standard Odoo stuff, so I'm not going to go in a great deal of detail in that, but we can actually add in our timesheets and so forth. So go back to the job. Now we can actually send out multiple people out on site to handle different pieces of equipment. So the way that this is structured is I can add as many. If I'm going out to fix a bulldozer, I might send someone else out to fix a grader or someone else out to fix a generator. So I can actually have a number, I can send a little small team out to site all as part of this one job, which is something that would typically happen, particularly in the case of a shutdown or those types of situations. You may send a group of people out under the one job, but they're individual piece of equipment that need to be maintained during that particular activity. But we'll just look at this one for the moment. So if I do open up this one piece of equipment, I can see who the individual that it might be assigned to. And again, this might be the service manager that's doing this, that's going to assign all these people and then assign the date, schedule the date, assign people to the equipment that go and do the jobs and things prior to them going out to site. But for the sake of this video, I'm just going to assume that we're going to put it all together, do it all at once. So again, if there's any additional notes here, so this may be where there's a particular issue we're going to look at for this at this particular point in time. So we can add that information here, and we might say that oil filter is leaking, and so I'll copy that. So this might be a note, or this might be just something else. It might be something to do with check the local mechanic, or meet up a local mechanic, or whatever the case may be. Then we've got the issue itself. This might be where we put in the fact that the oil filter is leaking, and then as the supervisor I can save that, and then the guys will see that when they go out to site. I didn't assign an employee to it. I might have Drew do this. So we're going to send out Drew on this job. I'm in here because I created the record, but I can take myself out of there if I need to. At the moment I'm logged in as the administrator. So let's say the time has come. It's now the 14th of January. And Drew has gone out to site. You can come out here, you can see there's some notes, and you can see the issue he's got to fix. Now let's assume he's doing the job now, so we can, again, it's HTML field, so I can put in the / and put in all of the various tables or checklists I need to here. But I'm just going to put in something simple like tighten the filter. Leak stopped, and I can save that. I can also just double check the address here as well, which is pulled in from the equipment record itself. So again, each equipment's got its own address, so it's good to keep that in mind, so you're making sure you're actually fixing the right bulldozer in this case. So I'll save that now. And what we can do is we can just assume this is done, and it should actually be done. Again, these are all Odoo standard features. If we used any products, we could add them in here, add the additional products in there if we needed to, and so forth, which again, standard Odoo stuff. So I've now gone back to the equipment record, and you'll notice under the service history, I've now got that record in here. So every time we do a piece of work on this particular bulldozer, that's going to populate in here. And then once we're done, at some point in the future, we can actually print out our service history here. So that's actually through the basics of how to do a field service repair. We covered a lot in this, and we skipped over a few bits and pieces as went through, just for the sake of making the video kind of somewhat brief. And there would be a lot more people involved, as I mentioned people like the service manager would probably get involved with the timing of the field service repair. The salespeople would probably be the first people contact to say that the customer rang to say that there was a leak on this tractor, it needs to, or on this bulldozer, it needs to be fixed. There may be site people on site we needed, like the Amelia, we needed to contact when we got to site. We had to fill in a JSA. We did a whole range of things that we just kind of briefly touched on through this video. But if you want to know more detail about any of this stuff, this is really just a set of videos is just for an overview. Please get in contact and I'll take you through all of the detail, in as much detail as you need to fully understand this particular module. So that's our first one. In the next one we might look at some other features. But I will catch you in the next video.